Hey modders, welcome back to ModifedRoll. Don't forget we're sponsored by DM Dice. Check out the link to their website in our description, or head over to dmdice.co.uk and use the code ModifedRoll for 10% off all purchases. In our last episode, the party found a potential new ally in Lord Fennoc and exchanged information with him in the hopes of learning more about exactly what is going on. They can only pray that Lord Fennoc is in fact on their side after all. We rejoin them now as they head back into the city of Cairn, looking to possibly pick up some extra work, but also making sure to take the time to peruse some of the local shops. In this, episode 18 of Season 2 of ModifedRoll, The Brass Dragon's Hoard. You guys were obviously guided up here, you know the route back into the city, but the important question is, what do you guys want to do?
What do we want to do?
Bloody good question.
So this is one of the things where I have like very vague stuff laid out. You can look for, work. You can look for the job boards. You guys would know that occasionally requests are given to the temples, which if they cannot do themselves, they will, request the assistance of adventurers. I know you were talking about looking at the temple district anyway. Or you can head back to the inn and see about paying a messenger to deliver messages to the other nobles in the city. There's like the three main ideas. Or I can't remember how much money you guys have. You could attempt to go shopping with what little funds you have.
I don't have that liberty. I was just about to recommend we possibly take a job to try and raise our funds a little bit.
Yeah, everything we've done so far hasn't paid us anything.
Yeah, we could do with getting a bit of coin.
No one seems to want to pay us.
We've got 5 days. Let's make some money.
Yeah.
We have 5 days, but I can't scratch my face in those 5 days. Like,
it's fine.
That's right. I mean, you've got to be ready for your date with Lord Fennoc.
We do.
We'll take the hits for you.
Stand behind me. It's all right.
Yeah, we'll dive in front like bodyguard.
That's all I ask. You guys.
That's all I ask, that you put your own bodies on the line.
Also,
okay,
we're going to a ball. Outfits. I need to start planning. And she's going to start scribbling as we walk along.
Yes, that's a good point. It'll come along some point. We'll find out that.
They'll find us.
That'll come in due course.
I really probably should have asked Lord Fennoc what colour he was wearing so that I could have matched my outfit with his.
Bearing in mind
you can ask the tailor when we go.
Well, I was going to say, bearing in mind you're being sent to his, one of his business associates, you imagine that they're going to be given, directions on what to supply you with.
I'm ready to sway their opinion.
Interesting. What do we think of Lord Fennoc?
He's an interesting fellow.
He's an interesting one. Oh, snap, Sinclair.
Yeah.
Young, keen to please.
That's like the start of one of your books, Gillian.
Probably a bit naive too.
You're not wrong, Twilight.
Hey, I was reading them last night while you were asleep. They're good.
They are good. Oh my gosh, we haven't started our book club. Add that to the list for this 5 days off. We need to start our book club.
Once we have money, then we can get badges made.
Well, what time is it now?
We slay a monster. More smut to be written down.
Yeah.
I would say, just for Sinclair, your question, I was probably late morning, early after. I'd probably say after your conversation, early afternoon.
Early afternoon. Well, why not? Don't we go and do a bit of shopping? Pass by the temple district, take a look at the job boards, all in one day. Why don't we go and make a day of being out in the town and try not to get stabbed?
That sounds good.
Yeah, get a late lunch, early dinner.
Yeah. Grab some bread.
Have a bit of wine, yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Make a day of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, make a day. Go and see.
What's the nearest tavern that has some jobs?
So you said, are you want to go straight for job boards, or are you looking at the different shops first?
Wander through town.
I'm going to go book shopping first.
Ooh.
So the main shops in this city are going to be an alchemist shop, blacksmith, jeweler, an enchanter, somewhere that's specifically, so the blacksmith will sell weapons and armor. You have a specific shop that will sell magic weapons and armor. You've got the general store. Then you've got obviously all the temples and stuff, which will do all your healing and things. Is there something in particular you're looking for? Obviously, you can't just peruse, and I can give you names of all the shops. But just if there's somewhere you're looking to specifically to go, I can give you more detail.
Smart.
There's several bookshops.
Excellent. We will head for the nearest bookshop. Right, let's go. Follow me.
We're following behind.
Okay. We're following the leader.
You find a shop called the Brass Dragon's Hoard, and the sign for the shop is a brass dragon sitting on top of a hoard of gold. But all of you can roll a perception check. I will say the rating for this is very low.
15.
16.
I rolled a 2 with a natural 1.
So I'm pretty sure Kazisel's the only one who doesn't get this, which is very appropriate. The sign has been stylized in such a way that the brass dragon looks like it's got a great big pair of brass balls.
Wow.
I'd say we're in the right district.
And yeah, you go inside.
Amazing.
Yeah, inside the shop is run by an elderly gnomish woman who stands on a stool behind the counter. You can tell this wasn't sometimes you go into a gnomish or dwarven shop and they're sized for gnomes or dwarves. This is a predominantly human city, so most of the shops are sized for humans, including this one. So you notice there's a lot of step stools or small ladders, and the counter has been designed specifically with a little raised platform behind it so that the gnomish merchant running it is not quite but almost at eye level when stood at the counter. Yes, how can I help you all?
Yes, good day. My fellow companions and I are looking to start a book club in between our comings and goings within the city. And
do you have anything topic-wise in mind? We have a lot of books for the book clubs.
Well,
Go on, say it to this old gnomish woman.
Do you have any recommendations?
Like I say, it depends on what topics you're looking for. We've got pirate adventures.
The
We've got
more intimate style.
smut.
Yes, lady, we want...
Yeah, through the beaded curtain. You notice
Ooh.
to the side of the curtain,
Ooh.
to the side of the counter, there's a beaded curtain that leads to a small alcove in the back. Oh, the smut's back there, dears.
Has it got all the different age ratings for the different species?
God.
Yeah, it's 18.
You must, 50
15
for a dwarf.
human, but 200 for a dwarf.
Yeah.
Actually, can I just check? She points at Kazisel. What age are you, dear?
This would be good if I had an age written down. Old enough.
Very well. On you go. Is this what you guys wanted? Is this what you wanted?
Exactly what we wanted.
Exactly.
You walk in there, and I don't know. As you're stood perusing, the this old gnomish woman sort of walks in behind you, and she starts pointing out. It's like, if you're new to reading some of these types of books, I recommend the stuff on this shelf. If you're into the hardcore stuff, I'd look at this end of the room. You can't turn a page in this one without a description of a great pair of tits or a massive cock. This one's my favorite. The Passion Triangle. And that's not a euphemism.
Actually, I just wondered if you have any reverse harem books, stuff like that. Anything like that?
Of course. What kind of shopkeeper would I be if I didn't? And she directs you to a shelf of them.
Wow. What's your favorite? Sorry, what's your name, lady?
Lady. Her name is Hesmira.
Ooh.
No, you have to remind me. I'm not up to date on my.
Well, what's a harem?
Well, I know what a harem is. A harem is like when you've got the one guy and like a lot of girls. If reverse harem is just like one girl, lots of guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit! What's the lady's name? I can't.
Hesmira.
Hesmira.
Oh,
It's spelled H-E-S.
Yeah.
M-Y-R-A. Why, of course, I would recommend this one. 2 Minute Cocks of the Walk.
Actually, now while we're here,
I swear to Christ, if you ask me for another name.
I was looking for a book. Actually, I don't know if you have it. It's called The Wizard's Pink Pearl. I've heard it's quite good.
Do you know what? Roll a luck check. Just straight D20. 10 and above, it's good luck. 9 and below, bad luck.
11.
You're in luck, dear. We have one copy left. And she like scuttles along one of the shelves, up a little ladder, and she pulls down a copy of The Wizard's Pink Pearl, which has the cover is like a traditional sort of like wizard and like flowing. Well, do you know what? You tell me, is the wizard in this story a man or a woman?
The men. Yeah, it's a woman.
Okay.
It's a woman.
It's a woman, but like dressed in like traditional wizard's robes, so like the long flowing blue robes, big brimmed pointy hat, and like she's stood in like a provocative stance with like one hand held sort of in front of her crotch, holding what looks to be like a crystal ball, but it's like bright pink and glowing.
Thank you so much.
No problem, dear. That'll be 2 silver.
2 silver. There you go.
She takes it,
I'll give her the
runs
2
back
silver.
into the room, puts it in her little till. What about the rest of you fine folk? Has anything caught your attention? Anything got your loins girdled? I'm losing the voice now, and I'm just slowly transitioning into my standard gnome voice.
It was that one you mentioned earlier, something a triangle or something. I lost.
What the fuck did I call it? The Passion Triangle or something like that.
That's the yes, that's the one.
Very popular currently, and she.
How many copies have you got in stock of that?
3, ironically.
3. One of us can share. I'll take the copies. That's the first book of book club.
You know what? That sounds good for book club.
Yes.
Book club is.
I really want to make a comment about sharing a book with sticky pages, but I can't think of a way that the shopkeeper would do it. She says, "Of course, dear. That'll be 2 silver as well."
There you go.
Oh, shut up! 1 silver.
Oh, you're splitting it?
Yeah.
That's what she said. She runs aside, puts the 2 silver in the till.
It's 2 silver for 4 books, but I paid 2 silver for 1 book.
Oh no, are you getting a book each?
Or is it 2 silver each?
I thought
It's for book club, Jordan. How are we all...
He just said they would share.
That's a bit weird,
He
isn't
just
it?
said you would share.
Well, yeah, because you said there were 3 copies.
There were 3 copies. Share 1 copy.
Oh, you want to share
Share
1 copy? So when you said you would share that, you were just going to buy 1 copy.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
it's
no,
2
no.
silver each. Whoever's buying the book. So I assume the other 3 of you are buying them.
Yeah,
Knock
I'll
off
buy
3
one.
silver. It costs 6 total. You've all got a copy of the book now.
Twilight. I want to get another book, but I don't know what to get.
Oh, okay. Let's go through.
I like how you say that as if there's actually like a selection of books to buy here.
Listen.
I've heard The Rogue's Nether is a good one.
I'll just pick it up and buy it. How much is it?
Which one? The Rogue's Nether?
Actually, I've also heard that a tabaxi called Temptation is also great.
I wonder if there's a book in here about bards seducing dragons around here.
Oh.
I'm afraid that's too cliche for my bookstore.
Well, listen, this one's in a paper bag that's sealed.
Oh, that's what. Oh, fuck me. That's one of my specialties. Date night with a blind date with a book. I pick random books, put them in a sealed paper bag, and you don't know what you're getting until you've paid for it. But they're only 1 silver apiece.
Oh, look, Dragon Ball X.
Dragon Ball Triple
I'll
X.
get one of those. So I get the book club book and the mystery book.
I'll take this one.
Another 2 silver, and sorry, Twilight, did you say you're buying the one in the paper bag?
Yes.
Okay, that's only 1 silver.
Wahaha.
And you open the bag and it's Tusk Glove.
Oscar!
Oscar! Oh, this looks... I'm just going to put it in my bag.
Is anyone else buying any more smut, or have you got enough now?
I think that's enough smut for one day. Thank you very much.
Of course, anytime.
I would just like to say there is a whole Reddit thread of smutty book names for D&D.
Did you Google that just so you could come up with some funny names?
Of course. You just witnessed me struggle for 10 minutes trying to think of one, and you think I wasn't going to go on Reddit. So C42 Legend providing the book names for that.
I mean, to be fair, as soon as you started, I was worried you were going to start coming up with more, so I did come up with another one, which was taking the tiefling by the horns. Which I was quite proud of, so I'm just going to say it out loud now.
There's another one called Dragon Bone. That one was funny.
Tieflings being horny boys.
Send me a link to that, because if you ever come back to these shops, then I'll have something to work with. Oh Christ! Anyway, do you want to go to an actual shop that I have actual details for, or do you just want to make my life miserable?
Yeah, I think we should probably get some healing potions and stuff, guys.
Ooh, potions. That's a good idea.
Cleric, maybe we should get some healing.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, if you wander about a bit, you will eventually see the alchemist shop called the Bubbling Vials. The sign for that is 3 potion bottles that are effervescing.
Ooh.
I'm assuming are you guys going in?
Yes.
Yep. You go inside, and behind the counter is a halfling. They're covered in tattoos, literally all over, including over their face.
Wow.
And as you come in, it's good afternoon. What can I help you find folk with?
Hello. We're looking for some healing potions, actually, aren't we, Twilight?
Yeah.
Yes.
We are looking for some healing potions. Do you have any healing potions for us to buy?
Unfortunately, currently, I've sold out of all of the standard healing potions, but being a standard item, if you come back tomorrow, I'll have another batch ready. In the meantime, I do have a potion of superior healing, if it would interest you, but it is a bit pricier.
How much is pricier?
About 440 gold. Yeah,
I'm just going to storm out the door.
I know. Yeah, okay, he's gone. Yeah, unfortunately, the stuff I need to make that one's quite rare, especially in these parts. I can do you as a normal... hold on.
Twilight, can you make healing potions?
Absolutely not. She does not have a alchemist kit, I don't believe.
Nope, I do not.
Oh, isn't it
That's
50 gold or something?
I think it's 50 gold as standard. I was just double checking.
Pretty sure.
We need to leave.
Do we have any?
I don't know.
You guys definitely have some. You've been gifted at least 2, I think. And I'm pretty sure, Giliana, you took them.
No, I had one.
Oh, you had one?
I have one.
I don't have any.
There's at least a couple between you.
I don't have any.
No, I don't have any.
Oh my god, we need at least one then.
We have to rely on the gods for our healing.
Yeah.
I have one healing,
Here we
that's it.
go.
That isn't used.
Yeah, a standard healing potion will run you... if you come back tomorrow, how many potions would you be looking for? It'll help me work out the size of the batch I need to make.
I don't need any. Don't count me in the order. And Sinclair will go outside and join Cazeel and sort of comfort him, in that because he doesn't have any money.
I have no money.
It's just so expensive, Impare.
No, it's cool. I'll have one healing potion.
Okay,
please.
that's nothing more than the
Thank you.
usual preparation. If you come back tomorrow before sort of midday, I can have that ready for you. It'll be 50 gold.
Thank you. I'll hand her the
Would you like to
50 gold.
peruse the other potions that she has, on sale currently? I'm only asking because I have a list of them.
Yeah. Okay. I'll hear the potions that she's
Okay.
got.
You can get a potion of climbing for 50 gold. I'm going to assume the potion of invulnerability is way outside your league at 3,000 gold. Potion of Stone Giant Strength, 360. Animal Friendship, 210. She has several vials of poison, which she could do for 90 gold.
I'm so poor.
You have to remember, most of these, anything above common is like a magic item. Oil of Slipperiness for 560. She does have
That'd be useful for book club.
She does have in a special, behind the counter in a gilded locked case, there is a potion that has a sign in front of it saying Longevity, which has a price tag next to it of 9,900 gold, and then the Potion of Superior Healing, which is already mentioned. And she can also prepare any common potion for between 50 and 80 gold, but you have to give her time to prepare them.
Wow, there's some nice looking potions in this shop.
Oh, thank you. I've been at the practice for quite a while now.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think for now we just need the healing potion. But definitely if we need anything else, this is the first place we're gonna come.
No problem at all. Are you staying in the city long then?
Maybe. We're not sure. We get around a bit. We've just taken every day as it comes.
No, I understand. I see a lot of adventurers come through here, and it's just as long as the work takes. Totally get that. But like I say, if you want to come back tomorrow before sort of midday, I can ensure that at least one of the potions is held aside for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course, no problem at all. Can I take a name for it for the collection?
Yes, it's Anna.
Yeah, you just check that little note right there. Anna, healing potion, 50 gold. Perfect. Call back tomorrow. I'll have that prepared then.
Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Have a lovely day.
Leave the shop.
And you head off.
too.
Okay. Any other shops you guys would like to go to?
Is there a money shop?
A money shop where you go. You can spend money to make money.
Is there a whorehouse? I think we all need to whore ourselves out for some fucking money.
Any whorehouses looking for talent. Unfortunately, they aren't open at this time of day.
Damn, I could have been exotic for that.
Guys, there's a market that we can tap into. Midday whorehouse.
Midday whorehouse.
You're going to start off on Only Adventurers.
Yeah, work.
Right, is the next stop the Temple Quarter, or are you going looking for a job board?
Job board.
They said there was jobs boards for the temples, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
you guys would just know that that you would know. So there's the job board, which is the stuff that's like general, citywide. They're looking for adventurers to do a thing. Temples don't always have jobs, but you would sometimes know that people would come with a request to the temple that they might think is a godly issue. I believe my crops have been cursed, but then the temple goes and looks into it. It's like, well, actually, no, there's just something fucking destroying his crops. So they will occasionally enlist the help of adventurers to sort that out. But for the most part, most of the jobs you would get would be through a city job board or a town job board.
Board?
Let's go and look at the board.
Odd request, but I was wondering if we could stop by the temple district. Just don't know about Twilight. I'd like to honour my respects to Paylor for a brief moment, and then we can move on and find a job. If that's all right with everyone.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So whether I can't remember if you were told this last time or somebody found out, but you would find out specifically that the temple to Paylor actually isn't within the temple district proper. Being a god,
might have told us that, yeah.
Yeah, being a god of the sun and the harvest, his temple is located just outside the walls of the city where the farmland begins, because he is mostly worshipped by farmers, and they want him. And the priest was mostly be involved with blessings of the harvest and stuff.
Yes.
So
let's rewind then.
I mean, it's not that in terms of where you are now. You're only talking a half hour to an hour's walk to get there. So if you wanted to do that,
to do a bit of both.
Yeah, you could definitely go because Cairn it's a major city, but you think about most you could walk from one side of Leicester to the other in an hour at most. It's not a huge thing. So you could definitely go and do that, and then go and look at jobs or visit the rest of the temples or whatever.
If everyone's all right with that, that's
yeah.
It'd be nice to be on familiar ground for once.
Yep. You guys you actually probably would have seen the temple as you entered the city, since you came in through the south anyway. So you head back out towards the temple. And it is set off a little bit from the road as you're sort of walking out towards the farmland. There's a grand temple to Pelor set up near the farmland. And obviously it is resplendent in golds and yellows, with imagery of the harvest and the sunlight, and a great sun emblazoned on the front, and all the stained glass shows either a sun bearing down on bountiful crops, or sunlight bathing his followers in his warmth. And there is a couple depicting Pelor himself stood benevolently over his followers. And as you walk in, there are acolytes working in the temple. There are several people there with requests or praying, or and just standard temple business going on. And what would you like? Are you looking to speak to someone while you're there, or are you just there to give your prayers and sort of general worship?
Yeah, Sinclair will find a place within the temple to kneel for a moment and.
Yeah, there are several alcoves specifically set up for people to come in and share a moment in silent prayer. Just so I know roughly where you are, what do the rest of the three of you do while Sinclair's off praying? In fact, you guys wouldn't have to have gone with him if you don't want to. Like, if you were just going to stand at the door, would all of you have gone to the temple?
I probably wouldn't have gone to the temple.
Probably wouldn't.
Twilight?
I'll be waiting outside the temple.
Okay, yeah, you went with him. Obviously, we'll focus on Sinclair first, but just so I know, Giuliana and Kazisa, what would you guys have been doing while they were at the temple?
I'll be sat on a bench or a wall, and I'll read my new book.
You know what? That's a good idea. I'll have my book out too.
You have to keep it partially in the paper bag so that people can't see the smutty cover. In the temple, yeah. So Twilight, would you wait inside the door, or would you stand outside the temple completely?
Yeah, just outside. I will leave him to go in, but I just wanted to go with as fellow religion person,
God person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You give me a perception check while you're stood outside.
Sure thing. And that would be a natural 1.
You spot jack shit. You get distracted.
I'm tracing the bricks in the ground.
You start what? Yeah. Inside the temple, Sinclair, you have found an alcove free, and you have knelt and you've began saying your sort of general prayers and worship and recounting some of the passages from your teachings. And eventually you feel a presence stood just behind you. They aren't interrupting you, and they're standing at a respectful distance, but you know someone is there. And they'll, once you've finished your prayers and stand up, you turn around, and there is an elderly gentleman wearing the white robes with the emblazoned sun of Pelor, and you recognize this to be a priest of Pelor. And as you stand, he looks up and up and up at you, and he says, "Welcome, my child. I don't believe we've seen you here before at the temple."
No, and Pelor's light be with you. I'm very new to Kern. I only having arrived yesterday, and I thought that I would seek out a place and give my respects to Pelor.
Pelor's light shine upon you, my child, and it's always nice to see new faces, even those like yourselves who may be here only briefly. He sort of gestures to your armor, which I'm assuming you would have worn your armor today.
Yep.
Yeah. He gestures to your armor and says, "I see you are a paladin of our great father. I trust he has protected you and guided you in your steps here."
He has. Pelor knows the way, and his light shines brightly, and my path is being revealed to me as it should be.
He nods slowly. "I hope that while you were staying in Cairn, you will return to us and join us in worship." the Harvest Festival is coming up, and it would be remiss of me not to invite you along to the harvest ceremony where we will preside over the bringing in of the harvest and blessing it. It would be a great honor for a paladin such as yourself to attend the ceremony with us.
I would be truly, truly honored, and I shall be there. You have my word.
And you would know just from general sort of like, paladin paylor knowledge that this is like a harvest festival is right fucking up sort of paylor worshipper street. Mm-hmm. The ceremony will be conducted at the rising of the sun on the day of the harvest, which is going to be the same day as the festival. You guys would have been sort of glossed over it. You would have been given some more information from Jace. The ball and like the festivities would be done in the evening after the harvest has been completed. So you know that this ceremony would take place at dawn as the sun rises. You also know it is very much a ceremony. Most of the work, the actual work, would have been done the day before. The day of the harvest ceremony is very much a case of they bring in a sort of like token amount of harvest. The whole thing is blessed by the priests. They finish it and then they hit the pub. But the ceremony will take place break of dawn, 5 days from now, and that you'll know to come out to this temple where the ceremony will begin, and then they'll head out into the fields and bless the harvest as it's brought in.
No, yes, that as there are days till the harvest festival itself. Are there any tasks that people have come to us with that you might need assistance with? As I'm in the area, I could potentially turn my time to them.
He reaches up, he has a very long white beard, and he begins to stroke the beard, and One moment. Brother Samuel, and he shouts, and you see a more portly priest sort of in the corner, and he bumbles forward. Yes, Samuel, yes. This is Sinclair. He is visiting Cairn. I think you introduced yourself. I can't remember.
Where would you say you did?
Yeah, he did.
What would the guy's name be?
The guy you were speaking to is Samuel. Paladin Sinclair is staying in Cairn for a few days, and he has offered his assistance. I know there was some issue one of the farmers were having. Unfortunately, I can't remember the details. Would you be able to enlighten him as to what has been happening? Yes, of course. We had one of the farmers approach us from further into the valley recently. He said, yes, he keeps a flock of sheep further into the valley up on the hills. He claims that several of them have been attacked in the night. He's come out to find, very little of the ones that were attacked, unfortunately, but evidence of a struggle and fewer sheep in the flock than the night before. He believes something has been taking them. We haven't been able to get any assistance from the city as of yet because it is so far into the valley. It'd probably be about a day's travel from here. But it would be of great assistance if someone could look into this for us.
Just for this, I have travel companions. I'll need to confer with them.
Of course, we wouldn't assume anything of you. Yes.
No. Just for their benefit, certainly is. I'm assuming this would be a paid job.
Another note that you guys would know: while the temples would pay you for this work, it does pay less than any job you would get from a job board, because the people coming to them for these requests don't offer a reward. They're, like I said, generally they come
in desperate need of help.
Well, not just that, but they kind of a lot of these people assume that these are spiritual things. This one, obviously, this one is obviously because it's a farmer. He's come to his priest and said, "Shit's been happening." But generally, the ones who come to the priest are God is not helping, or there's a demon, or whatever. So they don't offer up a reward. But the church, if they have to go out for assistance, would. So you're not going to earn as much money from these, but they do still pay.
Okay, never mind. He wouldn't have asked that then. He would have known.
Well, no. Like I say, you would know that they would offer payment, and that's a perfectly especially of a paladin. Everyone knows paladins are there to help, but something that we're there expecting, a party, they would expect to offer payment. So it's a perfectly reasonable question to ask. So they wouldn't take offense to that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
The two of them look. The priest who came over, he has a little sheaf of papers. He flicks through it, and he says, "I believe So initially, as we do not know what has been causing the attack, we are offering a 100 gold reward to investigate, as the price would then be based on whatever's been causing the attack. For all we know, this is a pack of wolves that has moved into the area, in which case the reward would be anywhere around 100 gold. If this appears to be a more dangerous creature that we're worried could move further into the valley, the reward would of course be higher. Now, we understand that investigations like these will sometimes involve you running into the creature. If you can bring back proof of what the creature is, we would of course provide a reward according to that creature's capabilities.
Sinclair will nod. Yes, of course. Well, I thank you, gentlemen, very much. I shall confer with my companions and see what can be done.
They nod, and please feel free to return whenever you wish. May Palor's light guide you and warm you in the dark.
Of course, and if I don't see you before the Harvest Festival, I shall see you upon the morn. By Palor's light, may you go in peace. And Sinclair will take his leave.
Yeah. You head back aside, meet up at twilight, and then I'm assuming you head back into town to find the other two.
Yep.
Yes.
I imagine they find the two of you on like a bench reading your books, giggling and pointing out lines to each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you approach and you're all back together as a group.
Well, good to see that book club is in full swing.
Yeah, I think we've got some killer books here.
You guys have got some catching up to do.
There's always time before we sleep.
True.
Now, rather interestingly, I had a word with one of the priests in the temple while I was there, and there is the potential of a job if we would be willing to take it. There's a farmer. He's about a day's journey down back into the valley, an area we've already travelled through. His sheep have been going missing, probably wolves or something. There's a 100 gold reward simply for investigating it, and then with the potential of it going up slightly if we can produce evidence of what was taking his sheep.
Wow, 100 gold, I'm gonna be rich.
That could buy us 2 whole healing potions.
As you know, as we all know, the temples don't pay as much as the job board would, but it's certainly an option. I said I would come back and confer with everyone before we agree on an action to take.
I just show my money pouch, which is almost flat, no barely anything in there. It's like
you open your money pouch and cartoonishly 2 moths fly out.
Anything would be better than this. I don't know about everyone else.
Well, do you guys want to go and look at the job board first?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Have a look.
I mean, there's no harm in looking at other jobs.
Absolutely, I agree. Let's go and look at the job board.
Okay, you head over to the job board, and there's like a main one set up on like the city square, and most of the stuff on the job board is like, you know, local stuff like need someone to help me do this, or can somebody supply this or transport this. The main one that catches your attention, that's like more directed towards adventurers and has a larger reward to it, is listed as a artifact retrieval job. Somebody has described a forgotten tomb further into the valley that they have rediscovered through a map that was handed down through their family, and there is said to be a ancient like sword lost within the tomb, and he is willing to pay 1,000 gold to anyone who's able to retrieve it. But that is all the detail that you have been supplied in this note.
To get 100, 1,000.
There isn't. Well, there's all the detail. That's all the detail on the actual job. There is a location and a name for someone to go and meet if you would like to take this job on, and that you'll be provided with a map and directions to the tomb in question.
I mean, guys, I'm feeling the sword. Like,
oh, actually, because it describes it further into the valley. Sinclair, you know from the description of the job you were given, you could likely, at the very least, carry out the investigation for the job for the temple at the same time as you head out to carry out this job.
Well, if it's further down the valley, yes, we could do the little investigation as well, earn a little bit of change as well.
Ooh, double homicide.
With a splash of milk.
If everyone's set on this, by all means.
What have we got to lose? Our lives, you know?
Our lives, the investigation, curtain falls.
I mean, how many times have you almost died?
Yeah, so if that's the case, if you wish to accept this job, the contact is a Brinlow, Lord Brinlow, one of the minor nobles in the city, and there is an address at the sort of lower end of the noble quarter where you can go and like request an audience with him to take on this job.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, I'm assuming, do you want to head over to meet him now, or do you want to do anything else first? Like, because I know you were talking about possibly meeting other nobles. Do you want to send a message out for them? Do you want to go and see the rest of the temple quarter, or do you want to head straight to do this one?
What do we think? Do we want to send messages out? Do we want to wait till this festival?
I think we're better off waiting until the festival, I think. You know, we don't want to cause any suspicion about our presence.
Yes, we don't want them to know that we're onto them.
True.
Let's get to know them at the ball.
Let's, see if who can be trusted and who can't.
Okay, so we hold off until the ball then.
Perfect. So I'm assuming you go to speak to Lord Brinlow then?
Yes.
Cool. You head off to the address given. It is a much small, I would say, wouldn't you say estate, like a manor house with a garden, but not so much like a sprawling estate that you would have had at Lord Fennoc's house. This is quite a small property for fit for a lesser noble. Similar to with Lord Fennoc, you're met by a servant who eventually takes you to a drawing room, and you're eventually introduced to Lord Brinlow. He is a half elf, and he, short order introduces himself, meets the rest of you, says, I have been told you're here to inquire after the job listing we have posted, which is to retrieve a relic from what we believe to be a tomb further in the valley. Yes?
Yes, we are. You're correct.
Excellent. For your information, the relic is a sword, something that was created for one of my ancestors that we thought was long lost. After a sort of clear out of one of our smaller manor houses, we discovered some information relating to the location of the sword and what it was used for. We believe it is to be located in a tomb further into the valley south of Cairn, and he sort of sets a map down on the table. While crude, I believe this map has enough detail to find the location of the tomb. Unfortunately, I know little about what is inside. It's tomb, that's why I'm asking for adventurers to go. I don't want to risk sending a servant and never seeing them again. So if you'd be willing to carry this out and return the sword to me, that will net you 1,000 gold.
Sounds good to us. Is there anything about your ancestors that we might need to know?
I believe the sword was created to slay a lich that had been plaguing the land. That is unfortunately all of the information we have on the sword at present. Everything else was lost, which even the location up until now we were unsure of until this map was discovered. We believe this was a copy of the map that was provided to my ancestor to discover the location of the lich. But as neither he nor the sword returned, we assumed that he did his job and slayed the lich, as there was also no record of the lich after this event.
Aha.
Yeah.
I like how this turned from, yes, 1,000 gold to,
So we might have the pleasure of meeting your uncle as well. That sounds exciting.
I mean, my uncle, well, that wasn't my uncle, my ancestor far back.
Your ancestor.
He was not the lich. He was an adventurer at the time, tasked with destroying a lich who had been, and from what I understand, I see the looks on your face, he was a lesser lich. He had only begun terrorizing the local region, and he was sent to kill him with the assistance of this sword specifically designed to destroy the lich in question.
Okay.
Fun times.
And what?
And he went to destroy the lich, but never returned.
No, unfortunately, we believe he died in the attempt, but we also believe the attempt was successful because the lich was never heard from again. If he had failed, this region would be entirely under the control of the lich.
or so my scholars tell me.
So, yeah, so, like, we could find your ancestor just clutching this sword in a tomb.
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay. What was their name? It's a bit impolite to go and take a sword from someone whose name I don't know.
My ancestor was named Toldak.
Ancestor Toldak. Well, thank you, sir. Lord Brinlow.
No problem at all. Obviously, should you die in the attempt, well, I wouldn't know. You would have died. But if you do return having failed, please do let me know so that I can up the reward for someone else to make the attempt.
Just one question. Are we the first people to make this attempt, or no?
The first adventurers, yes.
Who else?
I mentioned having discovered this information. I was sent word that somebody having overheard went into the valley and wasn't heard from again. But for all I know, they got lost, were attacked by wolves, a bear. They didn't have the map, so I can only assume they didn't find it.
Okay, no problem. We'll see you when we have your sword.
I look forward to it. And you're sort of taken back out by the servant. So you have a map to a location in the south of Cairn, off of the valley, which you know will take you past the location that was described to you, Sinclair, where the sheep have been going missing. By now, it's sort of late afternoon. Is there anything else you would like to do with this day? Bearing in mind you're planning to pick up the health potions tomorrow, I assume your plan will then be to pick up the health potions and then head south to take care of these jobs.
Yes. Yes.
So, is there anything else you'd like to do today? Cool.
Not from me.
No, not from me.
I'm good.
No.
Yeah, I'll assume you sort of maybe walk around the city, get to know it a bit better, and then in the evening head back to the Emberhearth Gate Inn to have your evening meal, relax, prepare for tomorrow. While you are there, a messenger does arrive from the Silver Needle, which is the clothier that is doing the work for Lord Fennoc for the ball, with a message to say, or to ask you when you would like to attend to prepare your clothing. I'm going to assume that you're probably going to say maybe 2 days from now when you hope to return. You do know from the distance you were given, it's probably going to take about half a day to get to the tomb. So are you going to tell me back in a day, 2 days?
Make it 2 just in case. I would say
the messenger
yes.
nods. Yeah, I mean,
maybe make it 3. Expect us on the 2nd or 3rd.
In that case, the messenger will nod and say, in that case, could I advise my master of any colours you would prefer for your attire, in the hopes that he could prepare something on short notice?
What colour is Lord Fennoc wearing?
Lord Fennoc will be wearing black, green, and silver will be the colours that he'll be wearing, because that is the colours seen on the Fennoc coat of arms.
Green is my favourite colour. I will also wear black, silver, and green. That's okay.
The messenger nods. For the rest of you?
I will have white and gold, the colour of Palor, of course. I will represent him.
He nods. Twilight?
Oh, dark blue and gold, if I can.
Yep. And Kazisel?
Have mine like a black and it's like a silvery colour.
Yep, he makes a note of these, nods, and returns to the clothier. With that said, you settle in for the night, you've had your meal, you perhaps have a couple of careful drinks ahead of what's going to be a day of travelling and possible adventure. I imagine you spend some time preparing your gear, sharpening your weapons, checking your armour, reading your smuts, reviewing your spells, and preparing for what will actually be, as a party, your first planned adventure. This will be the first job you do as a group. And you settle in for the night, thinking ahead, wondering how will you work as a team, how will you perform together. You've undergone a lot so far as a group, but this will be the first time you've set out to do, intentionally do a job together that hasn't just been flying by the seat of your pants. Would any of you discuss tactics? What would you before you head to bed tonight? What would you be discussing as a group?
I would probably be asking like what everybody. Yeah, Gillian would probably be like planning. She's like been brought up that way to like plan for battle, and maybe like asking if anybody knows anything about liches. I feel like that's going to come back and bite us in the arse. Like what we're going to need to prepare.
So I would say, just off the cuff, both Sinclair and Twilight. Probably Sinclair more so, but Twilight, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that from your books as well.
Yeah.
You guys would both know, Lich is very powerful undead if given the chance to like amass the correct, knowledge and capabilities and set up, gather things for their spells. A Lich, even like a low-level Lich, is going to be exceptionally powerful because to become a Lich, they have to have been an exceptionally powerful spellcaster, and then they essentially become an immortal spellcaster. But Liches become more powerful the longer they're alive, because the longer they're alive, the more knowledge they can accumulate. A young Lich is no more powerful than a powerful spellcaster, but that's still something exceptionally dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But from what you've been, from what you've been told and from what you understand, the Lich is dead. Like, if this guy hadn't succeeded in killing the Lich, it wouldn't have, like, this thing would not have just disappeared. Like, it wouldn't have just stopped existing. So, yeah, but that your knowledge, I would actually say, you would also know that the process of becoming a Lich while making them immortal also, like, just rips their mind apart. Like, Liches are, for the most part, like, insane, but not in, like, the, like, ooh, crazy sort of thing. Like, they're insane in that they don't have the same thought process as humans. They have no morality, they have no empathy, they are beyond human at that point. You also know that for a Lich to survive, they have to periodically feed souls to their phylactery, which keeps them alive, which is why Liches are renowned for being, like, a force of death in whatever region they occupy, which is why you know that this thing cannot currently be alive, because if it was, there would be nothing living within several miles of where this thing exists, because it would have destroyed it all. I would say you guys also know, just as like a paladin cleric, a Lich does not die unless you destroy its phylactery. It will, if you kill a Lich, it will just reform at its phylactery within so many days or weeks or months. You're not 100% sure, because it can differ from Lich to Lich. But the only way to kill a Lich is to kill the body and then destroy its phylactery, which holds its soul.
Cool.
But yeah, other than that, general knowledge, they're undead, things like that. Other than that, you sort of discuss tactics. And what that means is, I've sort of let you guys get away with that a little bit up till now, but as you guys have spent a bit of time fighting with each other, and as you discuss how you fight and what your capabilities are, you guys can now, like, out of character, discuss what you want to do. Like, you might say, I'm going to do this so that your character can do that in combat without me throwing a bitch fit because you're metagaming. Because the idea now is that you know a bit more about how each other fights, so you can say, oh, we've discussed before that my character would do this so that your character can take advantage of it. So out of character, you guys can now say, I'm going to try and grapple him to give you advantage, or I'm going to do this spell so that your other spells are more effective and stuff like that. That said, you spend the rest of the night discussing your abilities, your plans, how you prefer to operate in combat. You get to know each other that little bit more, and you prepare yourselves for your first outing as an adventuring team. The night winds on, the sun sets, the stars and moon come out and bathe the city, and you head to sleep. You do notice that the city guard have maintained their watch as promised. There is an additional guard within the inn during the evening, and you notice that there are at least 2 patrolling around the area throughout the night, meaning that you can sleep easier for now. You now have an ally within the city, someone who understands that something isn't right, something is happening beyond the scope of normal things. And that gives you some comfort to know that there's someone else out there working toward the same goal. You don't have to keep everything close to your chest. You have someone to share what you know with, and who will likewise share information with you. You have a noble's ball to attend in a few days. One of you with a date with a major noble. You're being outfitted with fine wear to attend, and you've found something to occupy your time in the meantime. It's a far cry from the first night you met in the inn, where you didn't know one another, and you were awoken by the sounds of screams in the morning. You can see an improvement. You no longer see yourselves as strangers caught up in something that you couldn't perceive the extent of. You're now a team, working together for the same goals. And as those thoughts fill your mind, you all drift off to sleep. Prepare yourselves for the morning. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Well, that's it for another episode. Thanks for sticking with us. As usual, I'd like to thank Lixie B and Jeff for the wonderful logo and character art they created for us, the Storm Weather Shanty Choir for letting us use their song Drunken Sailor as our theme tune, DN Dice for sponsoring us, and all of our wonderful Patreon supporters who have been helping us out. Our recommended podcast this week is Venture Forth. I've got through, I think, 10 or so episodes of these guys, and I really cannot recommend them enough. This is your traditional high fantasy D&D campaign, and it just immediately gets straight into it with the storytelling, the action. Honestly, I was immediately captivated by all of the characters and their... Well, I'll say this much, they don't immediately spell out all of their backstories, but drip feed information as you come to know them, and I think it makes for a really organic way of us being introduced to the characters alongside the other players getting to know them. From what I can understand, they did play some one-on-one or smaller groups with the DMs to go through bits of their backstory to sort of set them up for the first episode, but we don't hear any of that coming into that first episode. So that is Venture Forth. Their details will be linked down below. Definitely go and check them out. A quick heads up for our Patreon as well. We have been doing more of these Explore the Guest Lore episodes. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the outro of the last episode, but we do have a interview with Dylan of Hearthfire Tales. It's very interesting to listen to him talk about a world where adventurers are treated like bands in our world, but bards are just universally hated. It's an interesting setting, and I had a great time chatting to him. So that's up there now, and with it being a guest episode, it is free to anyone to go and listen to. And hopefully going up this weekend, if I can get time to just finish the editing on it, there will be another interview with Susie of the Lads on Tour podcast. Both of these guys have been on our recommended list. If you haven't checked them out, definitely go and do that, and I highly recommend going and listening to the interviews. As much as we do sort of ramble and go off topic, I do think they're a good listen and a bit of an inspiration, hopefully, to people who are looking to develop their own homebrew settings. And just while talking about guests, I was very last minute given the opportunity to do a guest voice for Pretending with Dice. So if you go and check out one of their most recent episodes, it is a Star Trek based game they're playing at the minute, and I got to play one of the engineering ensigns. Just a handful of lines, but it was me guesting with a bunch of other podcasters, both here in the UK and from the States. I actually found out after the fact that one of the members of my team was Cassie of the Lovely Craftians. You guys know how much we love and rave about the Lovely Craftians. So go and check out Pretending with Dice, find that episode, and just have a listen. It was very fun. AJ did a great job with the script and just getting everyone to sound like they were all in the room together, yelling at each other, or at least in my case, yelling at everyone else. So go and check that out as well. And finally, a piece of what I hope is kind of exciting news. I have been accepted as a professional GM for the Rolldark GMs group. This is a group of professional DMs across the UK who will run professional games for events or parties, or just if you want to pay someone to come and play a game with, they can run a game for you and your friends. And I think it's a great way to introduce people who maybe don't know a lot about D&D or don't have experience playing, because you're guaranteed to get someone who knows what they're doing for the most part, who is a talented DM with experience and practice and has put in the hours to perfect their own craft. That said, they have just accepted me, so I am bringing the standard down a little bit, but you can check them out for anything. They also have lots of online games running. I'm in the middle of setting up a mini campaign that I will be running through their group, hopefully before the end of the year. I'm aiming to start, if I can get the time to finish writing off that mini campaign. But go and check them out. They have a ton of games open currently where you can buy a ticket to reserve a seat in that campaign.
and you're guaranteed a certain number of sessions. I think it's usually 8 is the standard, though some are a bit longer, some are a bit shorter, but all the details are listed in the game notes. So you can check that out at rolldark.co.uk. And if you're looking for a professional GM, and specifically if you're in and around the Midlands, or East Midlands specifically in the UK, you might even get me if you look for a professional GM. But otherwise they have a whole host of GMs up and down the country. So if you're ever in need for that for a party, or just want to introduce a group of people and know that they're going to get a good game, check out Rolldark. Lovely people, just absolutely fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to working with them more in the future. But that is it for this week. Thanks very much for sticking with us, and we'll see you soon.